Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please, if you are joining for the first time, please kindly hit the subscribe button and like my video. Today we are going to be making this ready-made jalabiya gown. Thank you very much. So here's the down part of the jalabiya of the gown. So this part is going to be used for the upper part of the jalabiya, which is this is 20 inches. So out of these 20 inches, I'm going to cut out 15 inches for the length of the half cut. That is the breast cut, 15 inches length, and I'm going to cut out 20 inches for the front part, and the back is going to be 22 inches for zip allowance, all in total making 42 inches. But the actual length, the actual breast cut length is 36. So we're going to make it free and give it a belt to make it fitted, because there's not going to be zip on it. So after cutting out the front and the back, you have these two halves that you fold into two equal parts. You measure out the neck. I don't want the neck to be too low, so the neck is going to be 3.5 inches length, and for the breadth is going to be also 3.5 inches. So by the time you sew it in, it will be around 4.5 inches breadth and length. And again, the shoulder is going to her shoulder measurement is 15. That is divided by 2, that is 7.5. So I'm going to add 1 inches to it to make it 8.5, as you can see in the video, for sewing allowance sake. So after measuring this, you make sure that when you are cutting the neck, you slant it in at the shoulder part. You slant it in by half inches, so that the shoulder will lie flat on the shoulder, will fall flat on the shoulder, not to be dancing around. So that is the basis of cutting shoulder. You have to, reduce it in by what, half inches. Some people do reduce it in by 1 inches length, so that it will slant, slope down. So that is the cutting. So the neck, I want the neck to be higher. That is the back. Now the back will be higher than the front neck. So the back neck is going to be what, and 3 inches and length, while the front is what, the front is 3.5 inches length. So by the time you sew it, you are sewing, you are going to sew some part in. So by the time you finish sewing, it's going to be 4 inches, and the back part is going to be what, 3.5 inches length. So it will not be a very low neck, because it is ready-made. It will not be a very low neck. So this is how you curve it. You can see in the video, after cutting it, you curve it and cut out the neck. That's how you watch the video. So for the armhole now, her armhole is 20, so I'm going to make it 21. So as you can see in the cutting, it is 11. 20 divided by 2 is what, is 10. So I added 1 to it to make it 21. Some people use ruler to measure it, but I'm used to using my hand. I don't use ruler. I'm used to using my hand. But if you are a beginner and you cannot draw out the curve like this, you can just use your ruler. But this is how I used to do it, as it is illustrated in the video. So as you can see now, I added 1 for sewing allowance. You are going to stitch it, so I added 1 to it to make it 11. That is 22 in total for the armhole. So by the time you sew it out, you get the 20 for the armhole. So what you are going to do, and the basis again for cutting an armhole is that always make sure that when you are cutting an armhole, the front size, that is the armpit of the front, not the back, now is you reduce it in by half an inches or 1 inches. as it will be demonstrated in the video, I reduced it in by what, by half an inches. In that case, your armpit will not be bulging, it will not be folding, because it will fit in on your armpit. Instead of your armpit, when you wear the clothes, your armpit will be skewing, it will not skew. So that is the basis of cutting an armhole. These are the basis of cutting armhole. So you have to take all this into consideration as it is shown in the video. You cut it, that means the back armpit is longer than the front armpit. So as it is shown in the video, watch and see how it will be cut. So as you can see in the video, you always have to leave a sewing allowance for the zip. Even though this gown is not going to be having zip, but you have to leave a zip allowance which you're going to sew to make the bag fall in place, not to be skewing or bulging out. This is it. So you cut in the neck. The neck is lower than the back. As you can see, the neck will be the front neck will be lower than the back neck. So it's about half inches. You can make it half inches lower or 1 inches lower. It depends on what you want. If you want the back to be lower, you cut it the way I did I demonstrated in the video. So after that, I said the breast cut is 36, but I made it 40. So you will see 40 divided by 2 is 20. So and the front part I folded it into 2. So 20 divided by 2 now is going to give you 10. As you'll be seeing in the video, it's going to give you 10. You measure the breast cut 10, then you go to the down part. So you try and measure it to see if your measurement is still in place. As you can see, it is still is 15 inches, right, for the breast cut, but we are working with 16 inches because we want there to be a sewing allowance, that you are going to show the shoulder and also the waist side. So it's still going to be 16 inches. So this is the measurement as I've earlier told you, 10. Then you go to the down part now. After measuring this, you go to the down part. The down part is 9.5 inches breadth for the breadth. I just, like you can see, I don't want to waste this material. Like, I'm really managing the material, so it depends on you. You can decide to make the material 22 inches for the front breast cut, and the back you can decide to make it you can decide to make the front 24 inches and the back 20 the front the back 24 inches and the front 22 inches still, right? So but I like working approximately with my measurement. I don't want it to be too excessive so that there won't be any confusion. So like you can see, I just cut out half inches from it to make it 9 inches, 9.5 inches at the waist side. And so these two halves, I cut it down for the hand, for the two hand. So the armhole is 20, remember, and I made this 22 each, like 22 inches each. So 22 divided by 2 now is what? 22 divided by 2 is 11. So each side is 11. So you draw out the curve to make it, to draw it from the upper part to that part where I marked it to be what? 11. And then the able now, the able is supposed to be 13, but I marked it 13. That is 13. Okay, I made it the able is 13, but for the sewing allowance sake I made it 14. That is 7. 2 divided by 7, 32 divided by 14, that is 7. So you get 7 there. And the upper part, from that, the one I'm cutting from, where I'm cutting to the shoulder part, is 11. So 11 times 2 is 22. So this is the way you cut it out for the, remember, this the length of the length of this hand is 22 inches. So but for the able to the shoulder, we made the length to be 14 inches. Then the remaining one that we are going to be using for the pleating, you minus 14 from you minus 14 from 22. You So this is the lining that we are going to be using. This lining, you fold it into two equal half. And what the half cut that you got, you place it on it exactly. Fold it into two equal half too, as it is demonstrated in the video. Place it to it. Make sure that you always work with the wrong side of your fabric. As a beginner, it is very, very important. Whatever fabric you are using, make sure, like this fabric, there is very, very difficult for you to know the wrong and the right side. But once you know the wrong side, you just use your chalk to mark the wrong side and always work on it. Like you can see in the video, it has been cut. So you place the right side of the material and that of the right side of the lining will be facing each other, and you stitch it round the neck as it will be demonstrated in the video. Whenever you are sewing it, place your right side to the right side and stitch it. When you finish, you turn it to face outside. So this is the demonstration after stitching it. So, and whenever you finish stitching it, for it to lap very well, you need to use scissors to make stitches. Use scissors to cut stitch it. Use scissors to cut it to the stitch. Cut it gradually to the stitch, and then go, and when you do that, this is how you do it. This is how what you get. So after getting this, you make sure that you open it as it will be demonstrated, and sew it to the lining. Make sure you always sew it to the lining so that it will lie down flat. It will not be the lining will not be showing. The essence of this technique is that after your cloth is being sewn, look at it there, you sew it to the lining, so that after sewing it to the lining, you iron it very well. If you iron, look at how it is done. If you iron it very well, your lining will never show around the neck. It is only the material that will be showing. Your lining will never show around the neck. So you iron it properly as it is demonstrated in the video. This is what you get after ironing it. You see, your lining will never show around the neck. This is what you get. So that is the use of that. So this is the back part of the half cut. So the back part, now you sew it this way. After sewing it this way, make sure you make it the stitches flat and iron it. You will see the ironing, the stitches will come out very neat if you do this way, and you face the right part to the right part of the main fabric, and try and sew it around the neck as it will be demonstrated in the video. As it is demonstrated in the video, sew it around the neck and do the same stitches the way you use your scissors to make an incision. Make an incision so that it and also after making an incision, make sure you sew it to the lining side now. So, and iron it out. It will come out very well. The lining will never show, or it will never pop up when you are wearing it. It will lie very flat and neat as it is. Then do it that way and trim every part that you are supposed to trim it out. So this is what you get. And for the hand, this is how you sew the hand. I'm going to show you in the video how you sew the hand to make it like a ready-made gown. The stitches is not showing. The stitches are inside. You can never see it. After wearing it, you will never see it. It is the fine part that you'll be sewing. This is how you sew for a ready-made. So this is as it is demonstrated. Make sure you do it exactly as it is demonstrated. Some people don't use this technique. Some people just sew it the lining separately and sew the fabric separately and come and join it at the next side and sew it. But this is the easiest part I used to get my own. This is the technique I used to get my own. As you can see in the video, you see, after doing that, all the sewings, all the stitches, the part you stitches will be inside. Nobody will see it. You make sure you iron it very well. Look at it there. Once you iron it very well, like that. And the next thing, after getting this done, you make sure that you sew the sides. You sew the side separately. So the side of the lining separately. You sew the side of the fabric separately. Turn it out and sew it separately as it is demonstrated in the video. Once you have finished sewing it separately, then you now So as you can see in the video, it has been sewn separately. You have sewn the landing, the side of the landing separately, and you have sewn the side of the fabric separately to achieve the ready-made stitches style. So after doing that, you make sure that you iron it and trim out the necessary part off from it. This is how you turn it. You make sure you iron it properly before turning it. So after turning it, you get the down part of the lining. Now that is not a full lining. I'm not doing a full lining for this. I got about 30 inches length and I got about 80 inches breadth because it's pleated. So I will pleat the lining around the lining of the half cut as it is demonstrated in the video. So you sew it around it as it is demonstrated in the video. Please, thank you very much for watching up to this extent. Thank you very much. This means a lot to me. Please, if you are watching for the first time, please like my video, help my channel to grow, and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. So let's go on and see. We'll soon be finishing with this. Please bear with me. I took my time to do this because it's for beginners. I want to show the very detail of it. That's why I took my time to do this. So this is demonstrating how you are going to sew that down part first, the lining first. You're going to sew it first. You sew it first as it's demonstrated in the video. After sewing it, you iron it. Yes, sew the length first, sew down the length. After sewing down the length, you now add the wrong side. See it, you face the right side to the right side and stitch it round. By what? By pleating the downside, because the sound side, I said is 80 inches wide. As you can see, it is wider than the upper part. The upper part is just 38 inches breadth, and the down part is 80 inches breadth. You can see that it is wider, so you pleat it because that is the style. The style is pleated. The down part is pleated, so you pleat that first, as you can see in the video, the right side facing the right side. So as you can see, after sewing it around, this is what you get. The outside is going to be neatly stitched like this, like in. So after achieving that for the lining, you also try and do that for the fabric, the main fabric. You sew it down first. Like I said this length is 40. The length of the gown is 52. So I made the upper part, the breast, the half cut part, I made it 15, and I made the down part 40. That is 15 plus 40, that is 55. So we'll be working with what? 3 inches. Remember, we are going to fold the down. We'll fold the down, we hem it the down, and also the sewing allowance for the half cut. You remember that hole is for piping of the belt, because it's like ready-made. Nobody will see how the belt is being fixed. So that is for the piping. So you do it this way, you achieve a ready-made style. So this is the gown, 55 inches now. So it's 55 inches, but after sewing the half cut, you have about 54 inches. I actually had 53 inches when I measure it after all the work. So I folded one out of it to make it 52 inches, the down part of it. So after achieving this, the next thing for you to do is to fix your. So this is the hand, the upper part of the hand now. So before fixing the hand to the armhole, you make sure that the down part for that, which is the gathers now, the flared down part, which you are going to, which is, I told you that the length of is 20. I think the length, yes, the length is 20. Then for the armhole, it is the the elbow. The elbow is 13, sorry, and I added one to it and it was 14. So, and these gathers now, you can make it 20. It depends on how you want the gathers to be. If you want it to be very full, you can even make it 30 or 40 if you want it to be very full. Sorry, I think I made this one 35 so that it will not be very full but a bit full. So you can see in the demonstration, I've gathered it, I've pleated it to the armhole. So you are going to get 22 inches like I said. So this is the gown after attaching it to the handle to the armhole. So this is what we came out with, and that's the belt that we pipe in for the belt. We pipe in the belt is an invisible belt, so we pipe it in, and this is what you get for the gown. The breast cut is, her breast cut is 32 inches, but it's a freestyle, so we made it 38 for her. After the sewing, it was 38, and the waist side is 36, and this is just the gown. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any question, please do well to ask me your questions in the comment section. Thank you very much for joining my video. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Help my channel to grow. Bye bye.